My father was Joseph Alfred Willett. He was born in Cape Breton and lived in Glace Bay. He was ordained as a minister in Sydney Church in 1936. In 1937, as a fully ordained minister, he moved to Ship Harbour. And when he moved to Ship Harbour, he had in his care 4 churches. One was Ship Harbour, one in Upper Lakeville, one in Owl's Head, and one in Oyster Pond. And in those days, ministers did 4 churches a day. On a Sunday, it was a full flight, always. There'd be 2 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, and 1 in the evening. The same sermon 4 times in a row. And Dad was a very much off-the-cuff speaker. So you had to be careful at breakfast time what you talked about, because it could become part of the sermon for the day. I learned that quite quickly as a young person. When he moved here, I don't believe he had a car. He came in on a coastal steamer to Ship Harbour Wharf and boarded with someone for the first few months at least of the time he was here. And in that time, he must have acquired a car, because sometime in the same year, he was involved in an accident in Ship Harbour with a pickup truck with 5 people in it. The cars were severely damaged, I guess, but he was the only one that was badly injured. He had a huge gash in his head. But somebody in the community, Art Eisen, I believe, picked him up, took him to church in Oyster Pond, and he did the whole service, including the sermon. In the community, my father would be involved in weddings, funerals, basic church service, and any community event that was going on, he was always there, often to open or close it. He would make contact, and he was involved in some of the youth groups in the community. One of them being a youth group from Upper Lakeville. There are photos of him standing with them when they were putting on a play of some sort. I never did find out the name of that play, but I think they were involved in other activities, and it was connected to the church. In that period of time, he also met my mother, Elsie Patricia Palmer Marks Willett. And in 1939, he married her. In 1940, I was born and lived in the rectory also in Ship Harbour for about a year and a half. After that, he was moved to Mulgrave. And I think part of that was because it was closer to his family for a change. But he also got involved with the Army forces that were there, watching for the U-boats to come up the canal. I even remember seeing some of the conning towers. He was only there a short period of time, and I'm not sure what the reason was for the move, but then he moved to Eastern Passage, where he was involved with the 823 Army camp there. And my brother was born when we were in Eastern Passage. Yes, there's a story there that I won't tell. We were probably the only people in Nova Scotia that were basically bombed by a stray bomb that fell out of an aircraft, and also gassed. They were supposed to provide the rectory with gas masks and forgot when they were doing maneuvers in Eastern Passage. He moved to Dartmouth as assistant minister in Christchurch, Dartmouth, but he was only there a short time, and he was sent to Grenville Ferry. But there, my brother developed asthma from the ragweed, and he had to move quickly. So they had a little church they were building in Bass River, in Colchester County, I believe it is. So he was there for 1 year helping the people from the Bass River Chair Factory build a little Anglican church. And of course, that was just a temporary thing. So then he went to King's College School for Boys in Windsor, and there he was chaplain and also taught math. And along with that, had to be a dad and a husband. And of course, he didn't mind doing any work around the home. He was not used to being around chickens and things like that, but he became used to them because my mother was used to that. And of course, the wood would come in for him to use in the wood stoves, and often it wasn't small enough, so he had to chop that up, or often saw some logs, and kindling had to be cut up smaller, so he was involved in that. Eventually, when he retired, he moved back to Ship Harbor, and we convinced him to take over the church again because they didn't have a minister. And he did that for several years before retiring totally from the service.